Hey everybody, and welcome back. So it's I think 2 days before the deadline of Trump's next set of tariffs, on top of whatever tariffs are there. I've lost track. Like everybody doesn't even know what tariffs are on, what's been taken off, what's been reduced, what's been increased. It's just a gong show on this whole thing, and it's all relevant basically to President Trump. You know, the orange man baby. Even his own negotiators don't even know what's going on because he will do a policy change through a truth, and that's how they'll be updated. But the reason why I'm talking about this is we're never going to get a deal with the US, and we're never going to come to a deal with the US that's going to benefit Canada without getting screwed, especially no different than what happened with the Gordie Howe Bridge. Um, and I want to show you two little snippets of one of their trade representatives. That's a key example of why we're never going to get a trade deal with the U.S. until Trump is gone and his administration. Especially, you know, with all the other examples of the U.S. ambassador to Canada, um, Pete Hoekstra, and I talked about him, and now he's an idiot. And there's, I think, over 200,000 signatures now. I stated that we're going to get to a million when it's going to be read in November in the House of Commons, and we're over 200,000 right now, and we're in August, middle of August. So I want to show you two little clips of this gentleman, Jameson Greer, U.S. Trade Representative, that's within the negotiation right now. And he and then all the other examples are why we're never going to have a deal with the U.S.
Monday or early next week?
Bon, oui, on a eu une petite discussion. C'était assez cordial, assez détaillé. On va parler avec le président. Je crois que les officiels canadiens vont parler avec le Premier ministre. On va voir. Mais il y a pas beaucoup de choses à communiquer à cet instant.
Mr. Greer, can you say that in English?
No, I'm trying to impress Canadians.
I don't speak French. What do you think you'll have some options for?
Congratulations, you can speak French. Canadians don't care. We don't care. Like he might have done a quick chat GPT search to ask it how to impress Canadians, and it might have said, you know, we got two official languages, English and French, and so on and so forth. You know, a long history with it, and he wanted to impress us Canadians that he can speak French. Nobody cares. A lot of Canadians don't care. We have, even internally, even in Quebec, there's a problem with the amount of people that are continuing with the French language, learning it, and so on and so forth. There's a drop in people being able to have dual languages. Now, it's a huge asset here in Canada because it's two official languages. And personally, I think the more languages you can speak, the better the better off you are for opportunities and culture and everything else. But for negotiating, for showing that you're whatever you're trying to show us Canadians that you're able to speak French, who cares? Even the Quebecers won't be impressed with your French. And those Quebecers are a special breed of people. Like, they are not impressed. Same thing with a lot of Canadians just because you could speak their language. They want answers. They want results. They want to be shown respect by how they're treated like every other Canadian. So this idea that you could speak a little bit of French, probably better than I can because I can't, or majority of Canadians, is not going to mean anything to us. So this I don't know what it is. Like I don't even know why he's doing it. Maybe to troll us, to show that even the reporters here in Canada don't like know the second official language here in Canada. I don't understand, but this is not how you make a deal. You make a deal by going to the table and making sure both sides are representative. represented, and not just try to take all take everything for yourself. That it's a one-sided deal, because right now that's what you guys want. You want all the benefits for yourself, for the U.S., and nothing for Canada. Basically, like, you want all the manufacturing back to the U.S. You still want to be able to put on tariffs with whatever's left here in Canada that you guys don't want to deal with, or don't want to manufacture, or don't care to manufacture. You still want to put tariffs, high tariffs on that, so you can collect that income. But here, us Canadians are not allowed to tariff you guys. We're not allowed to boycott you guys. So this idea of you speaking French means nothing. But let's even take, maybe he was just a mistake. Maybe it's just good intentions. He meant well. But let's see what else he had to say in another questionnaire.
Decades, we have had major trade issues with Canada. So when you say one or two issues, that would be nice if it were one or two issues. There are a lot of issues, and we're speaking about all of them. So I won't give any more detail than that, other than all these things that we have been concerned with for decades on the U.S. side. We have been raising them. We continue to raise them. And I think that any potential resolution has to include all of these, or a pathway forth. Well, again, for us, this is not a trade war. We have domestic supply chains we're trying to protect and support. That's what we're trying to do. It's not Canada specific. We're doing this globally. If a country retaliates against us, we're obviously not going to tolerate that. We'll take action. My sense is the Canadians, they want to have a more conciliatory approach, but we'll see. Well, I suppose what I would say is
See, this is what I'm talking about. It's basically victim. It's the victimhood. They play the victim very, very well. The Americans. Well, these Americans play the victim very well. So does Donald Trump. Many issues for many decades. Interesting. But when Trump was in power the first time in 2016, I'm assuming he brought up those issues during the NAFTA renegotiation, because he talked about the dairy industry, renegotiated it, settled all those issues. Okay. But now we got still more issues again. Got dairy issues again. Dairy issues of the deal he negotiated back in 2016. So this idea that you guys have issues, not one or two, but multiple issues for multiple decades, is BS. You're just playing victim that the Americans have always been taken advantage of. And now you're not going to tolerate retaliatory tariffs against you guys. We only retaliate when you guys put tariffs on us. It's not we started it. You guys started it, and we retaliate it. That's how it works. So if you don't want those, don't tariff us. And if you find that there was something wrong, you should have came to us in the first place, and we would have sat down and negotiated like adults and not children throwing temper tantrums. So let's get this straight again, okay? Trump renegotiated back in 2018 during his first term. Especially sticking point was the dairy. Signed a new deal, came around again, and has issues with the dairy issues, or the dairy deal that he negotiated. And then there was fentanyl. And then there was the migrant crisis on the Canadian border. And then there was security, drugs, and then, of course, latest forest fires and the smoke that's coming over to our side. And then, of course, there was that ad that Doug Ford had, spent taxpayer money, $75 million of Ontario taxpayer money, to create an ad to tell the American people something they already know. But he had a problem with that, which is, like, we have our own issues with that ads, that he shouldn't have spent taxpayer money. But Donald Trump had a temper tantrum and started saying Canada's mean, they're unfair, from an ads. When you, as I'm Trump, I'm talking about Trump, has constantly been talking about how they don't need Canada, that the U.S. has always propped up Canada, that the U.S. has always protected Canada, that Canada should become the 51st state. and you have the audacity to be offended from an ad that's just talking about the truth? So we're never going to get a deal with these guys. These guys, like this guy, Jameson Greer, is just, he's no different than the Pete Hoekstra, the U.S. ambassador. It's just another yes man from Donald Trump. They have no plan. There's no strategy. It's just they want what they want and they don't want to negotiate like adults. So we will not have a deal as long as the Trump administration is in power. Until there's an adult at the table, there will be no deal. There's going to be tariffs. We're going to lose manufacturing. We're going to lose, like, for example, what's going on with the Stellantis plant here in Brampton. It's closing down. They're looking to close it and sell it. So this is going to continue. So at least Mark Carney has done what he could. The Canadians are behind him. We see exactly what's going on. There's no rhyme or reason for these tariffs, for these attacks. And there should have been a deal a long time ago, but you can't make a deal with a leader who changes his mind as often as someone changes their underwear. So we just need to move on. Just accept what's going to happen and just continue down the path of getting different trade partners and different deals. And then within 2 years, even like if you take a look at the forecast, Canada is still expected to have great GDP growth for the rest of 2026 and 2027. Better than what's going on in the G7. Second only to the US. And I don't even know if the US is going to continue to be on number one because of all between the Iran war, reducing their social service programs like Medicaid and Medicare. The American people can't afford it. The cost of the tariffs that he's imposed for the manufacturing and all their companies, I can't see their GDP maintaining their growth. That's just an opinion. Right now, they are number one. Let's see if that stands. But Canada's number two. So we're doing okay. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think. If you feel the same way I do, that basically we have to just wait until Trump is gone before anything can be actually accomplished in terms of a deal. Or do you think he's going to chicken out and just come up with a deal and make it look like it was all him? Like, Taco, Trump always chickens out. But let me know what you guys think. Anyways, guys, take care. We'll talk later.